What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Brian's Beverage Corner.
Hello.
As usual, you know the crew. You got Eric.
Hey.
You got Jason.
Beep.
You got Ed.
What's up?
And obviously I'm Brian. In the last episode, we discussed local breweries as part of our St. Paddy's Day episode. We did 3 local stouts. So because we did local last week, this week we're doing breweries on a larger scale. And we will be discussing what a macro brewery is, a craft brewery, and a microbrewery, because there are distinct differences, and it's basically all part of the numbers.
Yeah, so what's the difference between... So what is a micro? What makes a micro
So we'll start from the bottom. Basically, a microbrewery is any brewery that produces less than 460,000 gallons of beer, or the equivalent of 15,000 barrels.
And so are any of these guys are...
Based on
Are these
numbers,
micros? Or...
Based on numbers, all 4 of these are under the middle category, which we'll discuss after the first beer.
Okay.
That's craft brewing. So it goes in order: micro, craft, and macro. So micro is anything under or at 460,000 gallons.
When are we going to open our own macro?
Our own macro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Gotta
right.
be micro first.
Nah, we'll go right there.
Big.
Just open it.
Just go big.
Why not?
The first beer we're going to try today is from Point Brewing.
Yes.
They are from Brooklyn, New York. They were established in 2004. This is their Citrus Jammer. It is their limited seasonal. So they have the regular Jammer, which is their summer beer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Citrus Jammer, so a little added citrus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And this comes out usually around July-ish. And it's only out for like a month or so.
Have you had this before, my friend?
I have, actually. I've had this one.
And
I
now-
like this one.
I've
a
had
lot.
the normal.
We had
Like,
6
I've
point a
not
couple
had this.
episodes ago, didn't we?
Yes,
Yes, we
we
did.
did the Dabble Double IPA, which is also a
Dude,
seasonal
they're
beer.
our boys.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what type of beer is this? Like what category?
This
Like
is considered
Pilsner?
this is considered a Goes style.
Interesting.
It's in the sour category. Goes is just one of the specific styles.
It looks sour.
You'll see with the color, especially, it's gonna come out like this, like almost like kind of golden color, but still a little hazy. But the taste is what's gonna give it away, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this brewery is relatively new in the craft industry compared to the other guys we have. These guys were established in like the early 2000s, whereas these guys were all last century, I guess.
Already in
for
the
lack of
swing of
better
things.
term.
At
Yeah.
that point.
The 1900s.
That's a nice smell.
Oh, that's
It smells sour.
very limey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there will be a lot of lime in
Oh
this.
my god.
Yes, very, very summery, limey.
So you'll see
It's
here
like
the
green
color,
apple juice or
a
something.
little bit,
What? Smells like a green apple.
little
like
little
apple
golden,
juice.
little
Yeah.
yeah, almost like apple juice. Definitely a little hazy.
A little
Can
hazy, yeah.
can see through it, not perfectly like some other like clearer filtered ales. Put your lips on that, boys.
Oh, okay.
If Jay
Oh, wow.
didn't.
That's refreshing.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Wow, that's incredible.
So you can tell why this is a summer beer.
That is like
Yeah.
juice.
It's like a nice cider.
A
Yeah.
little bit of wine taste to it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, this beer usually comes out the middle to late summer. I found it a couple weeks ago up at a beer store in New York called Beer World, and they had a bunch of single cans and bottles, and that's where I picked up actually these 3. And because this is like the next one's a tropical blonde ale, so I'm assuming it's also like a summer seasonal.
This is definitely like, if you didn't already know, like by the timing of when it comes out and buying it, that it's a summer beer, you can definitely tell. So after you drink it and you lick your lips after, it kind of has this like little, like almost like a salty kind of thing, like
Like
margaritas.
you just took a tequila shot.
Or, no,
You got that nice taste afterwards.
no, like a
Get the
margarita,
lime and the salt.
like a margarita with the salt rim glass.
Yeah.
Or or like take a shot.
So
with
that
the salt.
taste
right after?
has a
Yeah.
lot to do with the style.
That's a very
This isn't usually my cup of tea.
a
but it's
refreshing.
good.
Mm-hmm.
This is usually not what I like. I like this
Goes
a lot.
Goes style. I mean, there are breweries that make Goes style beers all year round, but the big time of the year for them is like when the weather starts getting warmer and stuff like that, so people can go out and enjoy it. Also,
I mean, it's pretty warm today.
Also,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Outside.
So we, like I always say, we always do it in ABV order. This beer is at 4%. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, 4% exactly. So it's a lower ABV. Usually the sours will not be too strong.
That's what I would have guessed. I mean,
That's a good range for those, because I think if you start getting higher, it gets heavier.
Because you'll drink this every day.
Yeah, no, because like usually as you go higher in ABV, it starts getting heavier, and that really does this well. You'll definitely like feel the heaviness of the beer as we go on today. So yeah, so like I said, all these beers are labeled numbers wise in the middle tier in craft. So basically, to be a craft brewery, you have to do more than 460,000 gallons, but no more than 6 million. So that'll be where these guys.
Yeah, that seems like so.
That'll
much.
be where these guys are. So the next one on our list here is going to be Dogfish Head's Beer to Drink Music to 17 Tropical Blonde.
Dude, that looks
a liquid soundtrack for welcoming warmer weather. Our blonde ale is a music-inspired tropical mashup brewed with kiwi juice and hibiscus flowers. And you can see on there, on the label.
I love me some kiwi.
Very nice.
Where's that bottle opener at? Thank you, sir. I've never had this beer before. I just saw it on the shelf.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
It looked super interesting because I've never even seen it available on the website that I used to order beer.
Well, it comes from Dogfish Head. And
so Dogfish Head,
they are very reputable. They make a lot of good stuff. Brian knows a lot more about them, but I just know that they make a quality product.
Oh yeah, I've never.
We have friends that swear by Dogfish Head, like that's one of the only things that they'll drink.
So Dogfish Head Brewery is headquarters in Milton, Delaware. They were established in 1995, so relatively older than Six Point. And like I said, the year when they were established kind of makes sense on the size. Obviously, the longer you're around, and if your beer is good, you can expand. And I'll discuss more about the expansion when we talk about the Stone beer, because their expansion in California was like really big. Like I said, it's a tropical blonde ale. I've never had it, so I don't know what this tastes like.
Whoa.
It smells very hibisky.
Ooh. I was going to say,
I
took one whiff of it, and it was like really different.
A little bit darker.
I don't think it hit your senses like right away. It's also
almost
a lot
like a reddish gold almost.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I have never smelled
super
a beer
hazy.
It's a lot darker than the last one.
I've never smelled a beer like this.
It's like
this beer comes in at 6.8%, so relatively stronger than this. So a little bit of a jump today.
You know what this smells like a lot to me? To me, this smells a lot like grape juice.
Okay. I can see that.
Like it's weird. Like it's not like exactly like it, but you get a little bit of.
I was gonna say it smells like some kind of like candy filling. I almost was gonna say like a caramel or something. I don't know why I was thinking that though. Or like.
Actually, no. I know what I get what you're saying. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying there.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so.
Thick and sugary. But I also see like it kind of smells like raisins now too. Now you say grapes and whatnot.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. I can taste the hibiscus in this.
Yeah. It tastes
for 6.8. It tastes extremely light.
It tastes different than what I think it's going to from the smell.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very different.
It's not that it smelled bad. It just smelled weird.
It kind of smells like it's gonna be more sour than it is.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, I smell more than I taste it.
Yeah, definitely.
The taste is super subtle, and I think the kiwi is what cuts through.
Oh, the kiwi's so
that harsh hibiscus flavor, but not the aroma. Right. So the balance on this is really good. The smoothness is really good as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the final smell is caramel grapes.
I can honestly say, because I've had a lot of Dogfish Head beers, I've never had a seasonal beer by Dogfish that was bad, and I've had almost every one they've made.
Oh, they're very
good. They're good. They make it. They make a truly good product.
This is a good beer.
Quality brand. This is very smooth.
I didn't know if I'd like it. Just from the smell, I was like,
so basically,
same.
So going off of the look and what it is, I would have to say this is also a summer beer. It also says here welcoming warmer weather, like I read before. So
it seems like a springtime.
Summer. I'd say that's like more like shoulder. Yeah, like you're starting to get warmer.
Like you still got the sweatshirt on, but you're wearing shorts.
Yeah,
it's like Memorial Day, maybe.
Yeah, it's like heavier enough, but it's light enough to bring the idea of.
Oh, I wish we had more of this.
Joke sunshine.
Shit, yeah, I really like this
bottle. Before we go on to the next beer, we'll talk a little bit about macro breweries. And basically, macro breweries are anyone that does over 6 million gallons a year. So that's going to be your Bud, your Coors, your Miller, Michelob, all your really, really big name brands. Big Corona, your big imports. That's what those guys are going to be labeled under, because they're international, they're You'll find them at almost any beer shop, liquor store, whatever type of shop you have that sells alcohol. You'll also find them, like, in gas stations and Walmarts. Like, you'll find Rolling Rock.
Or other countries.
Blue Moon.
As well.
Yeah, other countries. Now, let me ask you this, Bright. You might know the answer, you might not. With macro breweries, I know with Bud Light and Budweiser and Miller, they're all in one thing. They are Anheuser-Busch. Like, is that the brewery, or is it Budweiser is a macro and Bud Light is a macro, or does it count as Anheuser-Busch is a macro and they just put out different stuff, like different types of beer, you know?
Anheuser-Busch is the parent company that owns them.
Okay.
So Anheuser-Busch bought out, like, Nash and Kohler a long time ago. Just distribution-wise, in New Jersey at least.
And Miller and Bev,
Coors, Miller, and Bev got bought out by Anheuser-Busch, but we still have separate distributors. So Anheuser-Busch by themselves, at least in New Jersey, will do Budweiser, Michelob, Landshark, Rolling Rock, and a couple other guys that I'm not... Bass.
Yeah, they have
Bass. Yeah.
Beck's, I think, is Anheuser-Busch.
They're like the Coke
And
of
then
beer.
Kohler will be Coors, Miller, Heineken, Corona, Yingling, Sam Adams, like stuff like that.
But they all have like different breweries to where they're made.
Yeah, so
so
Sam Adams is based in Boston. Coors, I believe, is Colorado.
Yes.
But these guys also might have smaller operations in other areas of the country.
They definitely do.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
So because I know Miller, I don't know where they're headquartered at, but I know they have a small project in Connecticut. I've passed it before.
I'm pretty sure they are out of Milwaukee.
Yes.
Oh, is that what
you're right.
Maybe not.
I always had a feeling.
I'm gonna look it up because
I always thought it was Pennsylvania for some reason.
The next beer we will be tasting is Fear Movie Lions.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
I'm excited about
Double
this.
unfiltered IPA, or an unfiltered double IPA, made by Stone Brewing. This is 8.5%, so a lot stronger than the other two.
Oh boy.
They're based in California, but this beer says, if I can read the label,
I can't. I'll tell you that.
Let me take a try.
My eyes
it says
fucked.
there's a 3M by
me
3M square in our Richmond, Virginia brewery. So like I said, some of these places may have a separate place. I know Cigar City has two. They have one in Florida and one in North or South Carolina. So and it'll say on the can which one it's from. So in our Richmond, Virginia brewery with these 3 words painted on it. What 3 words? Exactly for the uninitiated that...
That's hard. This is hard to read.
It's very hard.
It's silver.
Show the camera what it looks
I'm really
like.
sorry. It's silver writing on a white background, and with all the lights in here, it's reflecting off the can.
Great.
It looks really cool. The front looks awesme.
I'm sure what it says
By the
is just
way,
that it's made with very good ingredients and it's a good product.
Yeah,
probably.
By the way, before I move on, all four the products we have today have great artwork on it.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
6 Point.
They know what's up.
I think I discussed this in an earlier episode.
We did.
That their seasonals have like an amazing art on the can.
Yeah,
but they still have the bold print, bold style look on their normal series cans.
I just sing their praises all over the place. Like, it's just catching to the eye. And also, something that I just noticed is the barcode. I don't know if they do this all the time, but I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. But in the barcode is the Statue of Liberty, kind of ingrained in there, and the New York City skyline.
Yeah, their barcode's based on the New York City skyline.
That's very cool.
Dogfish Head, their seasonals range in artwork because obviously people that know the products have seen the green labeled 60-minute, the red labeled 90-minute. Their seasonals have a lot, depending on what it is. Like their Halloween ones will have the Pumpkin Man on it for their pumpkin brown ale. This has great, almost like a watercolor painting.
It looks great.
On it, and it's really nice. And then some of them are more cartoony, which are cool too. I know their Dragonberry and Dragonberry Yum Yums beer that comes out in the that should be coming out soon.
Dragonberry Yum Yums.
It's really good.
Wow.
It's a collaboration with a band,
Dude,
with like a jam
+1
band.
whoever came up with that name. I love it.
Stone does it good with their color scheme. They might not be as intricate
It's classy.
as like Six Class. As Six Class. Thanks. Sam. As 6 Point, but the artwork, especially for the gargoyle and stuff like that, are really nice from can to can and the bottles and the labels.
Yeah.
Between their delicious IPA with their vivid like differences in greens. Because they use a light green and a dark green in the background. To like their basic, like the Arrogant Bastard, the more cartoony gargoyle with more like detailed features.
You bastard.
So, like I said, Stone is based in California. It's like Encinitas or something like that. California, and then they branched out all over the place because they have like a small operation in San Diego, and they have it in a couple other places as well. So this beer I've never had as well. I've seen it
Brian
in
hasn't
many.
had some.
Yeah.
These three I've never had.
It's a very rare occasion when he hasn't had something.
Go with Jay first on this one.
He gets excited.
Yeah.
I do get
We
very
very
excited.
cool.
supply.
Whenever I go to a liquor store with Ed and them, like they get excited when I see things I've
it's
never
so
had.
fun.
It's cool because he's like a kid in a candy store seeing all these different things.
Because I'm just overwhelmed. I
all
have no idea
over
what shit is. And then he'll walk around like, oh, they have this. It's amazing.
He will walk around with wide eyes, just oh my goodness, just talking about all this different stuff. And the other day we were there, and this lady came up to him. We went to a different place that other than where he works, and this lady came up to him and was like, "Oh, I hear you talking about all this stuff. Do you know like about beer?" And he's like, "Yeah."
He was like,
All
oh,
this stuff.
yeah, give me a second here.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I know about beer?
Yes. Let's
So-
this.
They were established in 1996, so not too long after Dogfish had. So just to give a basis.
Good year.
Also, I know we're talking a lot about size of breweries, but I do also have to say the color on these beers are going to be super different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is definitely darker, almost, I don't want to say amber, but this is like a deeper gold.
You could see the
Yeah,
shadows.
We had like
It's
almost
awesome.
like
it's
apple juice,
easier.
like a lighter yellowish gold to a reddish gold to now this dark gold. Still a little hazy, almost to the point. This is unfiltered, by the way, so that's what'll give it this look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I can smell
It
the.
smells good.
Let's try.
Can't wait to taste this.
Ooh, that was a lot hoppier than the last one.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
So this is a little bit maltier,
I like that.
So
hoppier.
to me, these two smell very similar.
Yes.
There
was a
have
similarity.
Yeah, they
There's
had
a
that like
similar-
grapish,
yeah, they
what
had-
I called caramel smell. Later.
Yeah, but
Or
they had
before.
their different notes, but
it was definitely.
this is a far different taste.
It was
yeah.
definitely
If you
harsher
look-
in the first one.
I just noticed this.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
look very closely in the light, you can actually see how unfiltered this is. You'll see a little bit of, I guess, what I would
Oh,
call
shit.
sediment.
Sediment.
Yeah, you can.
And that's
crazy.
that's normal. Like if you
Huh.
see sediment in your
Dang.
beer or in your wine,
Some
a
of it.
little bit, that's not a bad thing. It's just going to add character to what you're drinking.
I like this one a lot.
Obviously, if you
That's
see,
cool.
and if you really don't like it, you can always filter it out with like a coffee filter and then just re-pour it back into the bottle or whatever you're going to pour into.
Can you use a Brita?
Oh, that makes sense.
You probably could.
I was just thinking about it. I've never thought about
It'd
doing
be interesting to see that.
So this is an IPA.
This is a double IPA.
Did I miss that? Did you say that?
Yes.
I missed that. So I was not. I was not ready for this.
That. You're
but-
thinking, it's fine.
No,
I do really like the taste of this, though.
But
Quite
now
nice.
reading
Very
that
nice.
it's a double IPA, it definitely fits the flavor profile.
Dude, this is a sipper. I like
This
this.
is,
good.
if I'm not mistaken, now it is a year-round beer. You can get this at any point of the
Oh,
year.
I could drink this all year. 100%.
I remember
I don't
the
see this
first
as a
time
season.
I saw it, it was considered a seasonal, and then the popularity was so high that they put it on the main lineup,
Nice.
I can
which
see
is
that.
good.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Eric? You were going to say something?
No.
No. I heard you start talking, and then I was like...
I might have had
Where'd
a
you go?
thought, but
Do you
then
want
I
to say
forgot.
something?
No.
Tell us how you feel, man.
I'm feeling good. I was just saying it's hoppy before. I was saying it was very hoppy.
Oh, and the other
Yeah.
ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
How was your day?
My day was good. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy, but I'm good.
That's all right. Beer will wake you up.
Dude, he had to go to fucking Macy's today. God damn it. Commend you, my friend.
So before we start the last one, what do you guys think so far up to this point? Do you think these guys can make their way into a bigger? I mean, I know it is a little difficult, but do you think they can make their way into a bigger? I
I I don't know. I can see them being a very big craft brewery, but I don't know if I would see them as a major macro brewery, because part of going into a macro brewery is appealing to a gigantic... You kind of lose the art. You appeal to a gigantic audience. Granted, there are great macro brews out there. Like, I personally love... I really like Michelob Ultra, and they advertise themselves as the superior light beer, and I agree with that statement. I think they are the superior light beer, but it's a light beer. It's just a simple. It appeals to a ton of people, whereas these are niche markets. You have your different types. Like, every now and again, Budweiser will put out a thing, or Bud Light will put out their they do the Lime-A-Ritas, right?
Yeah.
So they'll do the Lime-A-Rita, Mango-Rita, Grape-A-Rita stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's different from what these guys do. These guys are really dedicated to the art of beer making. I'm not saying the other guys aren't, but these guys really obsess over things, tiny things, and I think that it'd be tough for them to make it to the next step without losing some of that, because it's easier to control on smaller levels. If they can, all the power to them. I think if I were to see one as going to that point, I would probably say 6 Point, simply because they have a premium packaging, and they do make they only make a limited number of things that can branch out to a larger audience. But I could definitely see them being at the very top tier. They are the 1% of craft breweries, because these are very good so far. That's what I think.
Now let me ask this, because we didn't discuss this yet either. At what point do you think quality control comes into play when it comes to size of production and distribution?
Well, I think quality control probably
comes down to demand. Like,
I was gonna say it's probably at that mark, because with the craft over to macro, you have to make choices. Like for these, as I said before, it's like the art goes away when you have to worry about everyone.
Okay.
Like, everyone has these, and if you drink these, you know about them and you like them. You go, oh, that's my shit. Instead of like Budweiser, anyone can drink it.
Okay.
And that's nothing against them. That's just their market.
Yeah.
Where for this, it's like, I don't think they have to go past craft, because I mean they're doing well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they can do things that, say, like Budweiser couldn't, where they couldn't go out and try these new things, where they add something like this and it's like, oh shit, this is amazing. Now, is this something I buy every day? No, but it's a nice little, if I saw it and picked it out, I'd be like, oh, this is a gem. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell my friends about this. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, no one does that with the macro stuff.
That's another thing, is like what you'll go pick out
on a regular basis.
Like, if you're the type of person who likes to have a beer with dinner or have a beer at the end of the day, a lot of times you'll see people going for your Budweiser, your Miller Lite, your Bud Light, your big time things, because that's just a very regular sipping thing, whereas these are select tastes. In the middle of the winter, you might not want a Ghost. Mm-hmm. Where, like, I don't want to have this light, refreshing kind of thing. I want something that's warm and kind of brings me into myself. So you go for a stout.
Okay.
So like that's the beauty of it. So is that you can have them at different times.
Exactly, and but some of these are at too far a different level of things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a weird paradox, but if they can make it to the next level, by all means,
they totally
commend them.
Yeah, I would say just be careful of when it starts becoming quantity versus quality.
Oh, because you have to lose a little bit along the way, right?
Yeah.
You got to
that's all things. Like, supply and demand affects quality versus quantity.
Right, because the normal person isn't going to go to a bar and order one of these. Mm-hmm. It's always going to be like, all right, either what's the cheapest or what can I just sip casually.
Yeah.
And like this stuff, they're not going to be like, oh, can I get, the Bigfoot? And they'll be like, oh, we don't have that. Because it's just like, it's range of motion where you could be like, I know where to find this.
Yeah, and plus they're harder to find as you go throughout the country.
Like, you go to middle Montana and probably find a Budweiser.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't go to a lot of places to find this stuff, but I think that what makes it great is that you have to go and actually seek.
You have to seek that beer.
So, not to cut anybody off, but to intro our last beer today, we are having Sierra Nevada's Bigfoot Barley Wine Style Ale.
This is gonna be so good.
This is coming in at 9.6%, so this is the strongest of the bunch today. Sierra Nevada is at least headquartered, I think it was founded in Chico, California, so also California. Their brewery started in 1979, so they are also the oldest brewery of the bunch for today. So I think I might have discussed in the first episode, because I think we did the Dark City.
Whoa.
Yeah, that comes out a good color.
It's like a soda.
Smaller.
Barley wine.
Clear as a motherfucker.
Barley wine style ale is going to be a little thicker, a little less bubbly. Although this one's pretty decent compared to the Dark City, and that has a lot to do with the ABV. A higher ABV will give you that more malty, less bubbly, less fizzy look.
This
See some of that carbonation.
And you'll smell
the smell of it really reminds me of of your regular brown ale. Similar, like not spot on, but like
I could see
like
that.
kind of like your Nuki Brown.
And as you can see, this is definitely a lot clearer than the other ones.
Yeah, it's a lot clearer, but much
definitely
darker.
close to that brown ale, amber
Hey, see the
ale-ish
camera for
area.
Yeah.
LOL.
So what you will smell on these is more malt. Definitely, I don't want to say syrupy, but like
No, I can kind of smell it.
You can smell the thickness.
You can smell
of it.
almost smell the thickness of the beer.
Yeah, looks thin but smells thick.
And I'm excited to have this because this beer is actually decently priced as well. I think it's like $10.99 for a 6-pack, $11.99. It's a relatively good price.
That was an interesting taste.
Now with barley wine styles, you're gonna
smooth.
get more floral, a little honey-ish, like almost like a mead would have, but a little drawn back. This is pretty bitter though.
You can taste the syrup though.
This
It comes in closer to the end, but
This is a little bit bitter,
taste it.
and I'm gonna read off the back here.
It tastes kind of like a stout.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was gonna do that.
Bigfoot is a beast of a beer, brimming with bold, bittersweet malt flavor and heaps of whole cone Pacific Northwest hops. First introduced in 1983, Bigfoot is a cult classic prized by beer collectors. Drink it fresh or cellar it in a cool, dark place to taste as the flavors develop over time. So you will, I hope you can see, on the bottle, there is what would be considered a vintage on this bottle. So basically that means that for a lot of wine companies will do this. The vintage has a lot to do with the wine, and for some beers, it's very rare to have a vintage on a beer. I've only seen a handful of breweries do it, but that means you can let it sit, you can age it to really like try to bring out some of what the brewery tried to put in it and what they want you to taste.
Yeah.
So like I said, you can let this sit for a while and age it. Beer you got to keep in a darker, cooler environment, almost maybe like a basement. When I aged my beers, I would keep them in the back of a shelf in the basement, which is a lot colder in most houses than the rest of the house. And I would not let it see sunlight. There's a beer that I buy once a year now. By 50/50 Brewing. It's their Eclipse Series stouts. They run for like $24.99, $25.99 a bottle.
They're bigger bottles though.
They're bigger bottles, obviously. They're like the
They're
pint,
like wine bottles, yeah.
like wine bottles almost. And they only make a certain amount a year. And some places, actually where I got these 3 beers, had a 2015 vintage 50/50 Eclipse, and it was $32.99. I almost bought it, but I didn't feel like spending that kind of money. Now, barley wine styles tend to be a lot stronger. Flying Dog makes one that's 10.5%. Some meads will be higher. Meads you can find anywhere up to like 20%, depending on the meadery. Something like this, I wouldn't drink often, and I would probably have the one, and I would sit with it.
Yeah.
Although I am interested to see if I let that sit for like a year, how that would taste.
We should do that. 'Cause
I might buy another one.
I would definitely remember the taste because this is. It's
Yeah.
It's a little stronger, but I like
It's
it.
definitely strong.
I'd be interested to try it after year. I am gonna say that this is not my cup of tea. This is not my cup of tea. I'm just not crazy about it. But I can see where it gets appreciated for some of the syrupy kind of honey you were saying before. But it's got a good blend of ingredients. But I'm just not crazy about it. I would like to try it after aging it, just to see how it is, to see how it's different. I might like it more, might like it less. I don't know.
It would
But I'd be
probably
very
bring
interested
out
in
the
trying it.
syrup a little bit more.
It would.
'Cause
Yeah.
you're tasting it a little bit at the end.
So
after that time.
Stone does this every quarter, I believe. They will do an enjoy by, and they used to do, I haven't seen in a while, an enjoy after series. Basically, they will brew beer that is not supposed to last too long, and that's the enjoy by series. And nowadays, it's they do 420, July 4th, they do New Year's, and I believe they do Halloween. They used to have them like all the time. If you look on their website, they'll have every single one that they've ever made because they do vintage them as well. I did see a beer place that still had July 4th, the July 4th one, in stock, and I was a little concerned to be honest, because
They're pushing it.
they're pushing it a little bit. But overall, the size of production, at least for these guys, has not affected the quality of the beer. I do believe that all these beers, for what they are really good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I did like all of them for specific reasons.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm not a barley wine drinker. I do like to try them, but they're not my favorite style.
Yeah. I'm down to try.
But
whatever.
Sierra Nevada does make... That's really... Like, this is really good.
That was
for
probably
barley
my
wine.
favorite one I've ever had.
Sierra Nevada does make other things that I really do like, though. Like I can't remember names off the top of my head.
Oh, they
but,
make a lot.
But
of
they make a lot. They make a wide variety of beers to have, and they do make some things that I really enjoy. So it's just the particular type that I don't like. I would vouch for Sierra Nevada's quality of product.
Oh, yeah, they make good quality beer.
Their range is all over the place. It's very, and they do it all very well.
The reason why I decided to do an episode on local and an episode on bigger like production is because people that like beer a certain way will only go after big names because they recognize the names. And that's why last week we brought out beers that are from New Jersey, just so that people can see that there are different things out there. Or maybe, you go to a basic place to buy beer and only have the big names. They don't have the small names. And maybe you'll venture out a little bit further to find these things. But I do want to shed light on the people that do it right. And there are hundreds and hundreds of breweries that do it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just as good as these guys. And I try to review as many different breweries as possible just to spread the wealth a little bit, because every brewery makes really like a beer that is their staple, is their trademark. Their seasonals are good, or their artwork is fantastic, or what they use in the product is interesting. But today I chose these guys basically because they're very well known, at least in our area, because 6 Point might not be well known in the West as much. But these guys should be distributed all over the country. Like, no matter where you go, you should be able to find a Sierra Nevada beer, a Stone beer, like a Dogfish Head, but still keep that quality control.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I really wanted to give to you guys, and I hope you learned a little bit today about what puts these guys on the level that they're at the moment. Can they grow? I believe all 4 breweries can grow, and they probably will.
It's up to choice.
But
if they want to.
they may want to keep at their level to keep the quality of the product in mind.
Yeah.
So they can do whatever they want.
It all depends,
Really?
But
We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you liked it, let us know. If there's any beers you want us to try, any style of beer you want us to try,
get those comments going.
please let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yep. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And
God damn it.
as
Every
always,
fucking
I
time.
hate it so much.
get the bell on. That's supposed
the
to be the
bell.
bell.
Didn't
That's
sound
the
like a bell.
Doesn't
but
sound.
I
And
got
let me
it.
try this one. Kind of
Sounds
like
a little bit better.
A little bit better.
Maybe a
Close
glass bell.
Next week we will be discussing different styles of beer, and we'll talk a lot more about color of beer and style. So until next time, I'm Brian.
Jason.
Eric.
And I'm Ed.
He may not be here next time. We may cut him.
Okay, well,
Just kidding. He'll be here.
hurts a little bit.
We will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed today.
See you.
Drink responsibly.